Hey friends, welcome to Season 2 of 3 Dudes in a Movie. We've got some exciting projects moving forward, and of course, tons of movies. Here's a friendly reminder that while our content will always be clean, the movies that we watch may not always be family friendly, so respect the parental rating systems accordingly. Hey yo, welcome to 3 Dudes in a Movie. I don't really know what I was...
podcast.
I don't know where I was going for
Three
with that.
dudes and a movie.
And a movie.
Pineapple. I love it.
Hey. So we watched Oldboy. We'll talk about it. Probably don't watch it, guys.
Oh, don't say that.
I mean, look,
Well,
if you watch it, you watch it. But like that's.
I mean, if you do, you
Isn't
do.
that,
you know
isn't
what I
that
mean?
fair? That's all I can say.
If you watch
Find
it,
the
it
pure
will.
Flicks version, and it'll be about 30 seconds.
It'll be about
long.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
Watch the
I guess
hallway
so.
scene. If you look up Oldboy hallway scene, you're gonna get some good cinema.
Wow, that was it.
But guys, this movie,
Based off the manga.
Oldboy, was a manga.
Yeah, the Vengeance trilogy. Yeah.
That might be a great read, honestly.
Park Chan-wook. After being kidnapped in prison for 15 years, Oh Daisu is released, only to find that he must find his captor in 5 days. I feel like some of that could have been communicated better.
Probably.
How much of this felt like manga? Do you read a lot of manga?
I've never read a single thing.
Oh, for real? I feel like
just
there's
watch
something-
anime. Yeah, Trevor tells me I need to. If y'all remember who Trevor is,
Trevor, friend
he's
of
the
the
one who
show.
called me stupid over the phone.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like our very
Or
first
did he
phone
say
call.
you're an idiot?
Yeah, he called me an idiot.
Yeah,
Or just
I
like our
remember
first
that.
phone call. Anyway, that's my best
I'm
friend.
an elephant. I remember. But
Yeah.
you not read any manga?
No,
All right.
but I probably should. There's stuff I want to read.
They go
Especially anime that I like that they just...
right to
discontinued.
left over there. Do you know that?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But if you read on your app, it's fine. You can just scroll.
There's a manga
It
app.
just goes panel to panel. Yeah, Trevor has a subscription. He's like, you can use mine. I said, thanks. I probably won't.
What's it called?
I got it just right here.
Also, I should say the IMDb.
VIZ.
Viz. Okay. The IMDb user. Well, I don't know. This isn't very helpful. I don't know where I got
The
this.
entirety of
It's
this movie is
saying
not very
it's saying
helpful.
right now that it is at 358. So it kind of fell out, but it's also saying "Don't worry, darling" is number 1. So that's as of today. That's not like a.
Our list.
All right, here we are. Okay, let me look. Well, what? Sorry, this is why you don't go and try to look it up and try to game the system, because it's not going to work out for you. Because The Whale is number 3.
That movie is not out yet.
That movie's not out yet. Where's it at? Oldboy. And to be clear, we watched the Korean one, not the Josh Brolin American one. Although, were you compelled to watch the American one now?
Yeah, after I heard it is a remake. I really didn't know it was a remake.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see what they do with it.
I hear it's less inappropriate.
Well, that's probably good.
This movie, reason I started this off by saying don't watch this, guys, is because as a follower of Christ, this movie did not benefit. Wow, words are hard. Thank God I have a podcast where I talk. This didn't benefit my relationship with Christ. And you might say, I could say the same thing about Jaws, and I tell you to shut up.
That's right.
That's right. This movie is aggressive in every form of the
aggressive.
way. Don't use your imagination. I'll give you, the man pulls teeth out with a hammer.
Oh man, it's great. It's a good time.
It's a pretty cool
I was
scene.
trying to think who would be the person that would be that would like this kind of movie. I would not. Don't say names.
5 years ago.
Oh really?
Once upon a time, yeah.
I think it's difficult because watching it, it was like you got to put a little bit of cultural context to it. Both.
You mean like Signs of the Time?
Yeah.
Signs of the Time, yeah.
Well, but also it being like, it's like it's 2003, so some of the style is a little bit like kind of wonky now.
Flip phones.
Flip phones.
This is a movie made
There's
for flip phones.
nobody has an iPhone, which is really, you got to really check your cultural context at the door, because nobody's wearing a phone, and everybody's got a phone clip. No, I think some of the style and stuff that when it came out was brilliant, looked great, and it was perfect. It just didn't age well, and we're seeing that now where some of the overexposure and such. You're like, all right, this is a little hokey early 2000s. But then also
The disc menu was definitely early 2000s.
yes.
Yeah, that popped up, and Ryan's like, sometimes I miss this.
It was very much like, I thought Mission Impossible is like Metallica gonna break out. and car scene. And
That's a good point. There's a lot about this, like that. All of that is 2003.
Yeah.
But it's not very much this movie.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
It's interesting how this movie. Like, I almost wish I didn't associate this movie with a year.
Yeah.
Like, it would be so much better standalone.
Yeah, but I don't know that you.
It's hard to do
I don't
with
know
cell
that you
phones.
could. Yeah. I mean, that and when there a disc, like a floppy disk involved, when there was some sort
yeah.
of his.
Oh man.
And then like the dumb pointer thing that he was like
You're right.
the laser pointer that was all. Yeah.
Oh man, you're right.
Yeah, there were a few things that was like, all right, this
is a period piece.
Yes,
It's a 20-year-old period piece.
Wait, you guys don't have floppy disks?
Nope.
Not
believe it
on
or
me.
Not I haven't in a minute.
I think you mean the save button, Ryan.
That's what that icon
Save
is.
icon.
Did you not know that?
No, I did. Yes, I did know
Okay.
that. I was about to ask, how many people do you think know us who think that we are dumb and don't know what that means? Like,
Honestly,
how many old
there
people
are,
who are older than us to go? You probably don't know what that symbol even means, Marty. And I go,
I just
"All right."
almost said 15 different names.
I go,
I'll refrain from any of them.
kids these days, me, 26, almost 27.
Oh man, you know what? I would fight back on most of those kind of things. I don't care if they think I don't know what a floppy disk is.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go to the.
I never really
Go to
did
battle
that.
with
They're
that
like,
one.
8-track, you ever heard of it? I'm like, yes.
Yes,
I've
yes, I
heard of
have.
it,
I know how to
yes.
rewind a VHS too. Wow.
Yeah. And like, you probably don't even remember the time when cell phones were in people's cars. I'm like, well, that was Elvis. Name somebody else. Wasn't you, So are they like,
dial up internet. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
I was talking to somebody this past week about that. Like,
About
what
dial up?
yeah, or like when was it? I was just reminiscing on how the internet kind of just crept into our home over the years. And
That's true.
I can tangibly, like, I can remember memories, like, factually. I can remember a memory of me before I had an iPhone, right? Like, I remember memories when I was a child, but I cannot like tangibly recall what life was like before, because I didn't get my smartphone and I didn't get an iPhone until I was like 16. 17.
Oh wow.
My brother got one before me, which I'm not bitter about, but I'll bring it up. But I don't like
Tomorrow.
yeah, I don't remember what it was like before it. But I'd say the same thing about smart TVs. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, TVs. I remember I had an old box TV in my room
Yeah,
for
me too.
years.
I had one with the VCR combo.
Oh, I
It was
didn't
like
have
12
that.
by 12.
I had it was a box one, but it was on. It had like a built-in entertainment stand underneath,
Yeah,
and it had this glass case
the
that you
glass
pushed
door.
in and it would
Yeah.
open. Oh, dude, that was
those
so
are sick.
cool.
My grandparents had one like that. That's where I kept all the DVDs and
Yes.
stuff. You just
Do you
play
remember
with
when like a 28, 30-inch
Yeah,
TV was a big
deal.
deal?
Big.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I remember when I got her. So I upgraded from that VCR combo to a 30. Me and my brother in a Black Friday deal. We each got 32-inch flat screen TVs. And
Hey, that's
that
dope.
was
That's okay. I mean, even today, the 32-inch flat screen's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's great.
I don't know. I have a 27-inch computer. monitor.
Yeah, exactly. Some monitors, computer monitors
That's
now.
fair.
I had that TV up until I got the one that I have in my room now, and
Yeah.
it's it's fine. I'm fine with it. So yeah, it started off with like, yeah, we had the dial up, and then
Did you ever have the reason I can remember so well the time before internet is because there was a time after we got rid of dial-up before we had Wi-Fi because we lived out in the country.
Yeah.
But we could they had a little USB
Yes.
that you could plug into.
It's a
whatever-
hotspot.
Yep, whatever
Yeah.
device you plugged it into.
Yep. I remember that. We would use that. So my when we got Wi-Fi, my mom, she was like, "This is for work only, right? Like, don't use this. This is for work. Mom's got to use
Yeah.
this for work." And then we got the little hotspot thing where she could take it. And then I remember when we paid like $75 for a Wi-Fi adapter on our Xbox.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
And you had to hook it up to the back of it. It had these antennas. I was like, that's wild
right.
to me.
That's right. I remember thinking like, well, if I have that and plug the USB into that,
Yeah.
I'll be able to play Xbox Live.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because I would always like people like, you play Call of Duty? I'm like, yeah, I play Call of Duty. And I like only play campaign because I
Yeah.
never played with it.
Because I live in the boonies and
Yeah.
can't get Xbox
Yeah.
Live.
And then finally Daniel was like, my brother, he was like, finally got it. We could play Xbox Live. We could play. I was like, so? And then we
and then you said, oh, this is a big deal.
I understand now.
Dude, I used to obsess over wanting to play online.
Yeah.
Now I just don't do it.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing. I was like, man, I at the time I was like, I don't care. I got my college football, and it's the same way now where I'm like, I don't care about these games. I got baseball.
Yeah,
I'm just going to be playing this for 200 hours over the next year. I put 200 hours usually, 200 to 250 hours per year in this game.
The show.
Yeah, dude, that is a month, almost a little over a month of full-time work.
That's awesome.
For over a month of my life, every year I spend working 2 full-time jobs.
Does your boss listen to this?
No, I really hope not. Well, one of them
I'll
might.
send it to him.
Yeah, you go ahead. Like, what if I had, just like for me, what if I took a month and said, hey, along with work, I'm going to devote myself to writing a book? You think, or something like, like that.
I mean, if you devoted that much time into it, you could write a book.
Yeah, but also I will say
probably
this.
Wouldn't be too polished, but
no. But I mean, I'll wait till next year. Definitely within 2 years it'll get polished. But
you could have a solid product by then.
Yeah, but I'll also say this: I'm pretty solid at the show. So
I saw a last time I went to McKay's local used bookstore for my out of town friends.
Halfway local.
True.
I have a question. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I saw a steel book of the show 21.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that's super cool, and it was still $30. I was like, you are outdated. If you were $5, I might get you just because you're cool looking. But
I only got one steelbook ever from the show. This is 16. I think it was with Josh Donaldson on the front cover, which was fine. But it was like I was working at Best Buy at the time, and it was like a deal where it's like it was actually would have been cheaper if I just pre-ordered the steelbook. Yeah. And I was like, all right.
I do miss back when pre-ordering games was worth it. When you got physical media.
I get it. I get both sides of that. Where there's the collectors like, hey, I want this thing. It's cool. And the layaway
digital
idea.
stuff, I've never cared.
Yeah.
But you can get extra points and skins. Dude, I'm playing Call of Duty. Leave me alone.
Yeah. So I get it.
Might be worth it for 2K.
I think the first game that I probably was like okay with and said I could see myself going fully digital was Last of Us Part 2. Like I just went, all right, I'm just gonna
that's good.
And then after that I went, all right, I could do this and not. And that also came with the new with the new consoles, it was like there was much more space. But anyway, sorry, you don't come here to listen to video game talk, even though
we're just talking about signs of the times.
Signs of the time, Oldboy. But we'll talk about the story. I mean, the story is it gets you.
It is good.
It is
good.
So keep talking.
The movie is just incredibly inappropriate.
What did you think about it?
I love what you said about it after we watched it. It's not that I can say that I liked it, but I appreciated it.
Yeah.
I think the story and the twists are brilliant. Just sadly, they're all inappropriate. They're not family friendly. And if you know me, you know most of that stuff doesn't get under my skin. But it was enough so that I was like, I genuinely cannot, in good conscience, recommend this to people. Unless you genuinely don't care about stuff like that. The twists were excellent. I don't know if we should go into detail about them because they're not appropriate. But.
Well, so you have an affinity for Shakespearean twists and turns and plot devices, and there's a bit of that in here.
There is. I appreciated how they got. I mean, honestly. How they got us from point A, this guy being locked up in this hotel room looking prison for 15 years, to point B, which honestly felt like point Z by the time we got there.
Yeah.
All the twists and turns to arrive at the fact. This man just wants to know, why was I locked up, and who can I get revenge on? And I'll say to you, listener, we find out who locks him up halfway through the movie. Knife to his throat, could put him into him now. But he needs to know why. And boy, is it aggressive. That why is aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of revenge. This guy is bent on revenge.
Well, that wasn't even exactly the guy. I mean, that was his captor. But that wasn't the guy that actually locked him up. We didn't see him till almost the end.
What do you mean?
Because you said knife to his throat. I guess he did come out.
Yeah, remember they were in the room across.
Yeah, never mind.
And then we get that.
Yeah, that was a little bit more than halfway through, I think.
Yeah, then we get that inappropriate scene right after it.
There's some funny scenes in here.
It did make us
There
laugh.
was some funny where he's like, hears out his story, and then he's like, now I'll tell you my story, and then he walks away.
And then he walks
He's
away.
just like, "Oh."
That was great.
Yeah.
He eats a whole octopus.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And I do like calamari, but that was gross.
Yeah. Who do you think? I want you to take a guess of who you think directed the 2013 American remake or Western remake of Oldboy.
Someone I know?
Sure. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Give a guess. Starring Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. Who else is in it of notoriety?
Samuel L. Jackson, Elizabeth Olsen.
What?
Yeah.
Are you looking up the differences?
Rami Malek.
What?
No, I'm not looking. I'm just looking up the cast and crew. But who do you think directed this movie?
Give me a hint. Just somewhere to put my brain, direction wise.
Oh man, I feel like it would give it away. He's actually done work in video games.
Is it
Whoever you're thinking, it's not.
Oh, it's not why am I blanking on his name?
I don't know.
Japanese, right?
No.
Oh, American guy?
Oh, it's the Western remake.
Oh, it is Western remake. I was thinking of
You're thinking of Hideo Kojima?
Kojima, yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's not a bad.
This could be
not a bad
this,
guess.
Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if he directed
That would
the
be
original.
his. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely up his alley. No, you will not.
It's not Del Toro.
No. Samuel L. Jackson's in this movie. Is it just who do you associate with?
I mean, a few
director.
A few people,
Okay.
but Tarantino probably.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I know it's not.
Oh, okay.
But he probably is who would come to mind first. Maybe George Lucas.
Nope.
Who is it?
Spike Lee. Who makes this stuff up?
Yeah, I mean that's
who comes up with this
they're
stuff?
pals.
Yeah.
Spike Lee directed the Oldboy remake.
Yeah. That's weird. Isn't that wild?
That's weird, man. Spike Lee.
Are you
Remember when he ruined 2K16?
well, and he not only that, I'm sorry. If you're a Spike Lee fan,
Some of his movies are good.
Yeah. But like not only was it like he ruined that game specifically, but it set the precedent for every other story mode after that. Like it had a ripple effect.
Yep.
6-7 years later.
I haven't played the last 3 because of those kind of
things. Oh,
things.
it's so bad. So bad.
The annoying sidekick characters.
Yeah.
Having to jump through all these hoops. You're like, I just want to play basketball with my guy, man.
Like, anyway. So, Spike Lee did the remake.
That's just unreal.
Just thought you should know.
Yeah, that's the most mind-boggling thing we're going to say today.
Well, yeah. Then we better get over Oldboy real quick before
That's true. I don't think I have anything much else to add.
Yeah.
This movie got me thinking. Let me go on a small little rant real quick.
Of course.
I won't spend too much time here.
Yep.
I went and saw Don't Worry, Darling the day after we watched this.
Mm.
And I feel like I was in a really interesting headspace for that movie because of this movie.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they're two movies that are trying to accomplish the same thing. Or at least as a viewer, you're trying to accomplish the same thing. You have these characters. There's a grand unknown that you were trying to unveil alongside these characters, and you go on this journey with them, and it gets revealed, and it's not what you expect. It's a punch in the gut, and now Don't Worry, Darling is nowhere near as inappropriate or gross. It does have plenty of adult gratuity, but it's far less inappropriate than Oldboy is. But I genuinely think that I appreciated Don't Worry, Darling more because I watched Oldboy the day before.
Really?
Just because they were both kind of like, hey, we're trying to get from point A to point B, but you have no idea what point B is.
Yeah.
Like what's the grand reveal?
Yeah.
And like you just said 5 minutes ago, I love twists and reveals. But that also can mean major letdown. Yeah. Because I mean, if your movie hinges on a reveal and it's subpar, you have a subpar movie.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think Don't Worry, Darling's reveal was subpar. I didn't see it coming, and I enjoyed it. And if anyone wants to hear my little critique, I very much enjoyed Don't Worry, Darling. I have it ranked as my number 6 movie of the year out of 15 movies I've watched in theaters this year. It's pretty high, probably a little too high, but like you said about Nope, it's just you think about it.
Right.
You thought about it every day
Right.
for a week or two after you've seen it.
Mm.
I've been thinking about that movie a lot, and I just appreciate that it's got me thinking.
Good.
Any negativity I could say about it, it's a little too long. They really hang on the everything is not as it seems trope. So there's my little pitch for Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah. That's great. So we're moving on from Oldboy. We should talk about a couple things that I want to bring to our attention.
Yeah.
We're officially in October, so which means spooky season. So let's go with the podcast first, and then we'll talk about books. Or I guess I say the movie side of the podcast first. So first thing, we are going to take a break from the list for a bit.
Take a break from the ads.
Yeah, and then and we'll focus on scary movies because we got a number. We need to come up with we can think of like 3 or 4 more weeks of, but it'll probably culminate in, you reckon, Halloween Ends.
Halloween Ends.
We should have a Halloween episode. Let's just do that. What is that?
Halloween,
the 9th.
The movie.
I'm trying to think as a recording. Halloween movie, like the franchise.
Okay.
16th, 20th.
We just watch a couple of them.
23rd, 30th. Yeah, because we'll record on Halloween night, right?
Will we?
Or wait, no, the 30th.
That's
It'll
Monday,
release on Halloween. Yeah, let's just do that. So last week we'll watch Halloween Ends, but we'll also let's just do a Halloween movie marathon.
You want to just do all 4 of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be down to watch any of the others too, but
a Halloween 3.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah.
But this
especially because you have
this continuity has 4 of them.
Okay, so that's the last week of October. We'll fill it in with some other spooky ones. Now, by happenstance, it's not a coincidence. I think it was divine providence, if you will. So we asked Jacob, our roommate. He has yet to pick a number, and so he did, and he picked number 74. Correct?
That's right.
And number 74 was
Aliens. This is the
Aliens.
sequel. And I know I'm with 2 folks here. Well, you've seen Alien, right, Jacob?
No.
Oh, okay.
I refuse. I mean, I won't
until it gets
to
to the list.
Yeah.
Aliens is not the scarier of the 2.
Okay. All right, but it's still spooky.
It is so much more fun.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, Aliens.
Well, she gets the whatever.
Yeah.
Exosuit.
It is a lot more fun. I would say the average person enjoys Aliens more. Alien is a slow burn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 1v6. Monster hunting you down. Aliens, I mean, you're going to war with the species.
Awesome.
Like,
love it.
It's a good time.
All right.
Are we gonna understand it not having seen the other one?
Yes, yeah.
There's aliens, Ryan. There's facehuggers.
I mean, there's some movies. If you see the second one before you see the first one, you just can't
Sigourney
follow
Weaver.
it.
She's been in space for 30 years. That's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, she's the movie's gonna wake up and tell you that there was a time jump. What happened to her crew?
So it'd be like watching Empire before A New Hope.
Nah, it's not even that much to fill in.
Okay.
It's literally just like you'll piece together what happens in the first one in roughly the first 13 seconds of Aliens.
Yes. So we'll do that.
Actually, you know what? She screams about it a lot. So Sigourney Weaver will tell you.
So that'll kick off. I mean, this will release probably tomorrow, right? Ryan, shake your head yes.
Yeah, Ryan,
or no.
Ryan has,
nod your head yes. Shake your head
I'm just not going to edit it till tomorrow afternoon, so it'll go up later tomorrow.
That's fine.
When you get to it, you get to it.
They're not. The people aren't clamoring for it. Unless they are, which we'll find out tomorrow. I guess that'll be a problem. Anyway,
fight Ryan.
Yeah, they're going to fight.
Ryan.
They come meet me out in the parking lot. I'm like, all right, well, I'm sorry.
Ryan's a hard worker.
I accept tips if we wanted to go faster.
That's right.
Yeah. And then we'll come up with the 10th, the 17th, 24th, 30th, 1st.
Yeah.
That'll be a release schedule. 31st will be Halloween.
I'd be down to get to some classics, and I wouldn't be too upset if we got to one of these. We got 3 or 4 modern horrors in theaters right now that sound pretty good.
Yeah.
Smile apparently is blowing expectations out of the water.
I don't know that.
Barbarian looks fun.
Yes, it is.
Honestly, I'll be honest. The main reason I want to see Smile is just the route they've taken with their marketing. Have you seen what they've been doing at sporting events?
No.
Really?
Uh-huh.
They're paying actors to go to sporting events and sit there with the creepy grin.
See, I'm not okay.
Awesome.
I'm not down with that.
Here's
the thing.
That.
I don't like.
That's
it's kind of
so
like
unique.
The Happening. I'm not.
Oh, that movie was awful.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying. I'm not a fan of suicide horror. I don't think that that's cool.
Okay, that's valid.
That's to me what creeps me out. It's like the whole. Yeah. So
that's valid.
like, I'm sure it's a good time. I probably will not go see it.
That's fair. What's the other one?
Oh,
Pearl.
Yep.
because it's the prequel to X.
Well, I'm trying to think if
When's the last time we got a movie and its prequel in the same year? Because X came out this year.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it. I hear it's very inappropriate. But I hear Pearl is not just a good slasher flick. So you can watch Pearl separate from X.
Can I ask you a question?
But of course.
If you had to a chance to pick a horror movie to review on the podcast for spooky season, what would it be?
Any horror movie?
Yep.
Classics?
Yep. Any of them.
Man. Man, oh man. That's a great question. And we're already doing Halloween.
Not Jaws.
Thanks, Tristan.
No. Say we're not doing Halloween.
So we're not doing Halloween?
Let's say Halloween's off the table. What is it? I mean, I guess it's not off the table, but if you wanted to pick it, you could. It's just like blank slate. What would it be?
I might say Halloween.
All right.
We're talking 78.
Okay.
Because there's just so much about it I appreciate.
Right.
It's very practical, very low budget. It changed the game forever.
Yep.
I think it's good. It's quick.
Yep.
My other answer, sorry, I know you said one, but if I'm not going Halloween, only because I prefaced it as such, I might say Sinister.
Okay.
That movie I think is always worth a revisit. It is genuinely scary.
Yep.
It's pretty demented, but it's not like inappropriate.
Right.
Demented. Gosh, I just appreciate Sinister.
Well, I'm glad you said Halloween because I was looking at. I have a proposal. So
you're gonna watch The Proposal.
Yeah. So next week
Which
is
I would do, by the way.
Next week is Aliens, and then we have the 16th and the 23rd, and then the 30th we have Halloween. So I'm thinking, Ryan, if we wanted to, each of us pick a movie from a horror movie. And if you take Halloween, and then I take one, and Ryan takes one.
Okay. Oh, of course, that's fine.
Ryan, do you think you want to do that?
I can try. I don't know any horror movies.
Dude,
Like
I like that.
The
He's a
movie that I
wild
would-
card.
So the movie I would pick,
He's a loose cannon.
I think out of ones I've seen that we haven't done on the podcast that I'd consider horror,
Gremlins.
potentially that second Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom, right? That's a good time. It is kind of scary. Some of the stuff you're like, kids, they like kids watch
I've
this?
only seen it once, and I was like 11 when I saw it. My mom thought it was a different movie when we watched it.
Oh, really?
So
I've actually not seen it.
Last Crusade,
Any of the
dude.
Indiana Jones.
Are you for real?
For real.
Are you kidding me?
Wait, what?
For real.
This
I've
is
not
the
seen
first time this.
I've not seen it. I know.
You just
I've-
admit this on the podcast.
I know. I've been thinking
Okay.
about it for a long time.
after Christmas,
Oh my gosh.
after Christmas, I'm gonna bring my DVDs back.
We're
with
gonna
me,
start with Crystal
and
Skull.
we'll watch it.
No, obviously I'd love to watch them.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. Ryan, if you want subtle suggestions for horror you might like, I'll think about it for you. But don't feel obligated.
Jaws 2.
No, if
I
we're
don't
doing that,
know
we
about
watch Jaws
that.
4. No, just kidding. No, Jaws 2 is a good movie.
Well, we could talk about it in the weeks to come, but I do
For
think
sure.
I think it'd be kind of neat if we
I
all
love
picked
that.
one.
You
and
think
then-
you got one?
No, because The Shining's out.
That's true.
Let me see.
You gonna stew on it?
Yeah, I'd have to.
Man, what a fun question. The Thing, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh, I do. I think I do have one. Do you want me to tell you, or you want me to wait?
oh, it's up to you. You're the one singing into a microphone for other people to hear.
Yeah, you're right. It would probably be The Last Exorcism with Caleb Landry Jones and let me look. And oh man, I can't remember the.
The Last Exorcism of Emily Rose?
No, I think it's just the last. Because that's the OG, isn't it?
No, The Exorcism is the OG.
Okay, The Last Exorcism. No, this is 2010. Oh man, it's a good time. It's one of those found footage. It's
Really?
kind of I would say
The
it's,
only The Exorcist. God, forgive me for incorrectly pronouncing that. The Exorcist is the only exorcism movie I've watched.
The Last Exorcism I've watched at least 50 times.
Whoa.
I
And
enjoy
it's a
it.
2010?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I remember when it came out.
Absolutely.
I don't know how we got it. We got it on
Whoa.
DVD or something, and I really enjoyed it. Now they made a couple sequels that they just got with everything they got progressively worse. I would say also Insidious, except that
I love Insidious.
man, Insidious is good, but this monster reveal is like all right.
Darth Maul.
No, Dwarf Darth Maul, like
He just straight up looks like Darth Maul.
Gimmal. You know what I mean? But yeah,
I mean, if that's what you want to watch, we'll watch it.
I mean,
I'm down.
I'm all about it. It's a good time. Like I said, I haven't seen it in a minute. So,
have you seen The Exorcist?
yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Say if we haven't, I'd be willing to watch that one too. But
That's probably not on the. Is it not on top 100?
it's actually not.
Oh, okay. That's a bummer.
Some movies are on there only because of their cultural significance.
Yeah.
That's one I'm surprised it's not on there solely for that.
Yeah. Right.
Do you like Conjurings?
They're all right. Like, it felt like when, everybody went right, I went left. Everybody was going Conjuring, I went Insidious.
That's fair.
That's how it felt.
Same director though.
Yep. Have you ever seen The Nun?
I've not.
Dude, it is
Conjuring
trash.
universe,
It's not even scary.
Uh-huh.
You're just like, all right. I remember guys. One of my buddies, Ryan. One of my buddies, his name is Ryan. Other Ryan. Can't say he's a friend of the show. I have no clue. But he has this thing against drinking out of straws. I won't say why, but he just has a thing against drinking out of straws. So we went to watch The Nun with a bunch of. It was we were in college, so a bunch of us and a bunch of friends, and we took out like probably the second or third row back from the. I mean, it was pretty close to the screen, but It wasn't like IMAX, so it was fine. Whatever. And we took up like a whole row. It was so many of us. Well, he sat beside me. He's the one that talked me into it. JT, come on. I'm all right. Well, he has this giant, like large Coke, and he has it open.
No straw.
Yeah, he has it open.
He's the guy from the AMC theater.
Yes.
That promo that I always make fun of.
Yes.
So this man really just no topping a drink in a
and
theater?
he's like holding it, and he's like the worst at jump scares.
Oh,
like
no.
it wasn't even that bad. And I was like, dude, if you pour that all over me, I'm going to be so angry. I'm making you drink a straw for the rest of your life. Like I'm punching you in the hospital. You're gonna be drinking out of a straw. Everything. You're gonna be eating out of a straw. And luckily he didn't. He got close. I was like, bro, come on. You gotta be better. He's like, I'll put it in the cup holder. Anyway.
I just came up with mine.
What we got?
It's the first horror movie I think I ever watched.
Okay.
Invasion of the Body
Dude,
Snatchers.
let's go.
Ryan, let's go.
No, the 1956 one.
Yo.
Okay.
The original.
Yes, that's
All
what
right.
I'd want.
The OG.
Oh, let's
I've
go.
only seen the Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
one.
same. I've not seen the original.
Yeah.
I'm sold. Let's
Wait,
do it.
I've seen a horror movie that you haven't.
I
That's
guess
right.
not.
That's right.
Donald Sutherland. That's the one I've seen, not the OG.
Oh, that's fun.
That's
sold.
awesome. Yeah, I'm all about it.
That always reminds me of Close Encounters.
Yeah,
That's a good one too.
I've read the novelization.
Of Close
I think I've read. No, I don't think I've seen it. I've only watched
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, I've only watched the when I read the novelization of it. Towards the end when they were like playing guitar, like playing Queen to it, I was like, "What's going on?" It's like Arrival. It's really like Arrival.
It really is.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Anyway,
I've actually not seen. But I know most things about it.
Yeah, man, I like that. It's a good slate.
That's awesome, Ryan. That's a great pick.
Right,
I'm excited
I like
to watch that.
That's good.
And obviously excited to revisit Halloween. Always.
Yeah.
Um,
Last of Us teaser is here.
looking forward to that.
Yeah.
To watch that. Looking forward to that a lot.
Yeah.
Good cast, I think.
Good. All right. So, are we good as far as our movies and looking at the calendar?
I think so. Let's chat what we ranked Oldboy real quick.
Yep. I should make a note. I did not do this, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. Kind of a technicality, but I'm going to do it anyway. Top new is now I'm just looking at it. Top new releases of 2022. This is not a new release, but it's a new release to me in IMAX. So Jaws, I'm going to put it in there.
Sure.
I'm going to put Jaws at number 2 underneath Top Gun and ahead of the Batman. Because I had such a good time.
It was special, wasn't it?
It was,
Dude, it was magical.
It was a cultural moment for us, everybody in that room. So
it was special.
I'm putting that at number 2 top. And if you have a problem with it, get your own podcast and tell me how I'm wrong. But I don't care. Anyway.
I will jump in that. Let's talk Jaws versus the Batman. Because I loved the Batman, but I will fight you to the death.
Like this guy. Yeah, so
I'm not wearing hockey pants. I said that like 6 times this week.
Yeah. Hey kids, let me come over and show you something. Ah man, get the shark. All right. Do you have a ranking for Oldboy?
Yes, I do.
Right,
I
go
want to
ahead.
make sure I have my TD at the movies ranked. Yep, Don't Worry, Darling is 6.
Okay.
The Invitation is still last place. Don't forget that.
Because they did. Oh no.
They might have. Yes. So if you guys recall, I am ranking them. I started at 100 and I'm working my way up to 1. So based on what we have watched so far, I have 85 through 100.
Yeah, because yours move. They can move.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, The Shining is first at 85.
Nice.
85 is the highest it can be right now.
Yep.
The Pianist is last at 100. At 97, I have Oldboy.
Nice.
A lot I liked about it, but it doesn't have much rewatchability. If you care to hear, right above that is Life is Beautiful at 96. Right below it is Goodfellas at 98.
All right.
Heck yeah.
So I put Oldboy in between The Pianist and Life is Beautiful.
Okay.
But my rankings are locked in. So The Pianist I had at 89. Life is Beautiful I had 95. Oldboy I put in 90.
That's pretty
Closer to The Pianist than it was Life is Beautiful.
Sure.
Because that's the other thing, too, where I was like, man, when I look at both of them, what's a more wholesome movie? It's crazy to think a Holocaust movie is more wholesome than this movie.
But Life is Beautiful is a wholesome movie.
But when it came...
Unless you were talking about The Pianist.
Yeah, then yeah, you're right. My bad. I should have clarified.
Even though it does have one of the greatest one-liners ever.
Yeah, that's on me.
I'm cold.
Why do you have the jacket? I'm cold. I was cold. But when I was like, okay, just general, like, what could I rewatchability, entertainment? I was more entertained by Oldboy than I was Life is Beautiful.
Yeah, you didn't care much for Life is Beautiful.
I was like, all right, I get the point.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it's kind of,
yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, there was a lot about Oldboy I appreciated. But there's a lot about Life is Beautiful I appreciated.
Man, but that twist, it got you.
Didn't rank
That weird Game of Thrones like twist.
Dude, it was.
All right, so transitioning from movies, let's talk a little bit about books. We talked about we were going to talk about it, so here we are talking about it,
folks.
Yep, and so what are some spooky books that we? So how should we? Do you feel like we should like put out a list of books that we have on the? Should we put that on the social media or something? Can we make that happen?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let me get our intern on it.
Send me what you've read and what you are reading, and we'll just update every week for the month.
Okay.
We can just put, and we can even, if we want, put a little snippet about what we thought.
Let me see if I can. I might be able to make my own Goodreads shelf. That way you can look it up and just. But yeah, what do we read?
So I have completed Law of the Skies.
Okay.
And
hold on 1 second. Let me sign. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Law of the Skies, as made famous by
a very, very European name.
Okay.
Very French. I don't remember.
Is this describe the premise of the book?
Law of the Skies. A camping trip of 6-year-olds. Still unreal.
Gregor Courtois?
Sure.
All right.
No, that's him. Yeah.
Rhonda Mullins did the translation. I can pronounce that.
Great job, Rhonda.
Great job, Rhonda.
So there's 3 adults, 3 chaperones, and like 12, maybe 15 6-year-olds, not 6th graders, 6-year-olds. And they're taking these kids.
Are we sure they didn't get lost in translation? What if they were 60-year-olds?
I mean, well, it doesn't change what happened.
Okay. Unfortunate.
And it's a horror, so things go wrong.
Okay.
And it is gruesome.
All right.
It's short, 150 pages.
That's kind of the draw with a lot of these spooky books that we're reading is that they're a little bit shorter and they're typically horror.
Yep. I think. I'm trying to think, is there a long one we have?
Yeah,
Ghost Club might be the longest one.
Yeah, or I was thinking either American Psycho or 13. American Psycho is probably about 250.
Yeah, 13. 13 is pretty. But even Final Girls Club, not very long.
Final Girls Support Group.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, I am too. I just like the cover art. It looks so good.
I love the premise.
Yeah. But so is this one? What is this one? You know when you see your friend, that's 350 pages. Okay. You know when you see some friends that have shelved that like as read, and then you look it up and you're like, that's not who I expected to have read that. That's what happened.
You got one?
Yeah.
With Law of the Skies?
No. The Final Girl Support Group.
Even still.
How similar was this? Like an homage to Lord of the Flies?
Yeah. His spiritual grandson, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely had its aspects. But Lord of the Flies is a lot more fleshed out, but a lot more than 150 pages.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
This is not a full-fledged story. This is drop 6-year-olds in the woods and watch what happens.
Okay.
And the thing that put me onto this book was a TikToker I found who loves horror books. And I'm like,
with a lot of these, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? This is a good resource to find some spooky books.
Yeah.
And he would not stop talking about the end of this book.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking last chapter. It's not really chapters, but it's chunks. There's a clear cut. You can tell when the tone shifts where a chapter would be, even though it doesn't say chapter 1, chapter 2.
Right.
And it was the last, I counted 8 pages for this final chunk. Unreal to read that.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it's the Marty the past talking. I wasn't like shook by it, the way he swears everyone who reads it would be.
Yeah.
I probably should be, but y'all have seen the dolls my dad hand makes.
Well,
it's just what I was raised with,
Yeah.
But it's aggressive.
All right.
It's awesome though.
That's awesome.
But I'm trying to be careful because 6-year-olds.
And then, so then what else did you? Then you read.
We both read.
We Can Never Leave This Place.
Never leave this place.
Oh wow!
And we can have some discourse on that one.
Yep.
I'll throw out the fact that before we get into that, I'm currently reading Saturday Night Ghost Club.
Yep.
Enjoying that. Only 2 chapters in. And Interview with the Vampire. 2 chapters in.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
Saturday
Night Ghost Club looks good.
It does.
It looks like a good time. It reminds me of the Ghoul School, the Scooby Doo.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that was a lot of fun.
That's what it looks like.
And I just really want to get to Queen of the Damned. It's one of my favorites. It's a great movie, but I grew up on the soundtrack. I just want to get to the book.
Mm-hmm.
I know the soundtrack by heart. I love the movie. I just want to get to the book. So I'll get there eventually. So that's why I'm reading Interview with the Vampire. And I should watch the movie. I mean, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt. I think child Kristen Dunst.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we both read We Can Never Leave This Place. I am currently reading, or I should say, I have read Pet Sematary.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my goodness! And the ending wasn't terrible.
Good job, Stephen King.
Yeah. There was. It was kind of like, of course, this isn't going to work out like you think it should, with any sort of resolve. But for the most part, I understood it, and yeah, it was kind of.
I'm interested. What led you to Pet Sematary?
The movie when it came out, I was like, "That's cool."
The new one?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I hadn't seen it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that I was like inspired to watch the movie. It was one of those where you're like, this new movie comes out, it's inspired by this book. I think I'll read the book.
Yeah.
No, because I knew at that time it was getting panned. So,
which I hear wasn't as bad as they said. But
yeah,
we talked about this. I have lost all faith in Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, any sort of
and I never had any in IMDb.
Yeah.
So.
As we say, as we look at the poster, it determines what we're watching next.
And that's why we did the fan vote one.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
The people.
So anyway, yeah, I had been wanting to watch. I wanted to get into some Stephen King horror. And I tried to get into The Shining. I love the movie, and I was like, all right, I don't need this book. I've fallen in and out of it.
It's just so long.
It is. So this one looked a lot more manageable.
Was it 400?
I think it was 350, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
So and it kind of went like shorter chapters, and so it kind of at times, of course, it bloated, but for the most part, it was pretty manageable. And so I really enjoyed it. I thought that it had some great. He does a really good job with the psycho, like this. Like the thoughts that you have and the way that you let them run.
He really does.
I think that's and that's his strong suit. And that's, I think, probably what makes the horror is like, hey, we're all thinking it.
Yeah.
He'll
just
also
allow his characters to think it.
I've had some sort of that train of thought before.
Yeah.
It just wasn't in regards to someone who just died. It was just like about this, somebody that that kind of thought. We're like, oh, okay, this person has had that thought too. It's like, yeah, but that person's also on the verge of insanity. And I'm like, well, no, I meant Stephen King. Like, okay, yeah, that's what I said. The guy is on the verge of insanity.
But he is from Maine.
Yes, he is. Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I believe I gave it 5 stars, which. It's hard to do. I thought about giving it 4, but I went, you caught me on a good day. And then so I'm currently reading, and then I woke up and I started that last night, and I'm probably a little under halfway through, and we were talking about this. It's very interesting.
Heck yeah.
I don't know where it's going to go. So it's a zombie. It's on the surface kind of a zombie outbreak. There's this infection that causes people to go crazy and go berserk and eat other people. Except that the infection actually it's not what it seems. Reality is there's no there is no zombie apocalypse. There's no infections making do this. The infection is actually causing people to think that other people are zombies and lose perception of reality.
The premise.
And so then they go crazy and they kill all these people because they think they're zombies trying to eat other people's faces off. And so then now they're going to rehab to rehabilitate them. And so then there's this militant. So the world falls apart because everybody's turning on each other. And there's this militant group called Believers.
Yeah, what do you believe?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a really poignant lesson or story that takes like, okay, what have we heard before the zombie genre? Do I really need another zombie genre? But this one takes it and goes, yeah, but what do you say, like an apocalypse or a pandemic, and then add what seems to be like the modern form of like misinformation and the media who has like invested interest. You know, because sometimes that happens, and I've never heard of that happening before, right? Misinformation in a pandemic. So it is a little bit on the nose, and I'm enjoying that. And that reminds me, I was going to look up and see when it was published, because a lot of it does feel, if it came out before, the pandemic, then it's like, all right, this is creepy.
Impressive.
Yeah, impressive, yeah. But let me see right now. But anyway, it's pretty good. I don't know where they're going to go with it. I'm excited to see where they go with it. I'm kind of worried that they're going to let me down, but Malcolm Devlin. But it's pretty good so far. This did come out April this year.
Okay. Oh, that's very new.
Yeah. And then so we're going to talk about We Can Never Leave This Place.
That'll probably be what brings our episode to a close.
Adam LaRocca.
Because it's worth talking about we could probably talk about this 90-page book for 30 minutes.
Yeah. What do you what did you think about it? Let me. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Let me read it. A precocious young girl with an unusual imagination sent on an odyssey in the depths of depravity. After her father dies violently, young Mara is surprised to find her mother welcoming a new guest into their home, claiming that he will protect them from the world of devastation and destruction outside their door. A grotesque and thrilling dark fantasy, We Can Never Leave This Place, is a harrowing portrait of inherited grief and familial trauma. When you're given a gift, something else gets taken away.
That's a good line.
Yeah, it's pretty
line.
good. It's creepy. So sorry, Marty, go ahead. How it plays out, what you thought about it, that kind of thing.
Do we want to, since it's the one that we've both read, do we just want to go all in on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Plot and all?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert, if you want to read a very solid
first off,
90-page horror read.
Do you think people should read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's short and it's not gonna. I don't think it'll, unless your stomach is super super weak. Like you're not too grossed out.
Yeah. I think there's some what is it called? The kind of the surreal, transitive fantasy type.
Yes.
There's some mix of like what's real, what's not real. So if that's not your cup of tea, then I wouldn't say that. It's almost like
it's just so short.
It's almost like a folk tale, almost.
It is.
Were you saying that? I thought maybe.
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about. It's got some fairy tale.
Yeah, like Little Red Riding Hood type vibes.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, go read it. If you're interested at all, it's a great recommendation. So time out, pause this, go listen or go read it. Or listen to an audiobook. I'm not sure. But anyway, all right. So go ahead.
Not a very long audiobook.
Yeah, we'll spoil it.
I thought it's quite fascinating. The unraveling of what's going to happen. Not like there's a big twist or anything, but just unveiling layers behind what is reality. Ultimately, this kind of like you were saying, this fairy tale like story, very fantasy-esque. Everything gets peeled back, and we realize nothing is abnormal. Ultimately,
that's the kind of the twist.
It is reality. We don't really learn that till page 89 out of 90, though.
Yeah,
quite good.
Yeah, so
I appreciate that.
I guess the premise of it is that because it's such a short book, cuts out all the fluff. There's some sort of war going on. There's this family that's trapped,
and it's all
in
vague.
Isolation.
It's vague, It's insert war here, insert nationality here.
Yeah,
none
you're
of
in your
that
apartment, small apartment.
None of that is what matters.
And their dad has died. He's shot and killed. They bring back his body. They want to honor it, give away a proper funeral, but they can't. There's only so much they can do. Like I said, we can never leave this place. Yep. So they're trapped.
This place is this small apartment in a war-torn country.
Yeah. And so, but I like the pacing. I like the way that some of the chapters are broken up. I think that's something they did really well because with any I don't know. I feel like with any horror, it is the ebb and flow of a horror story where every chapter that goes with every chapter, there's a little bit more and more that unravels.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it did really well. It's like, hey, here's this family who can't leave, and this is life as they know it. But every chapter, there's a little bit more something creepy. There's something else that's kind of pushing them. Like it's very clear that Mara and her mom are not on good terms in their relationship. And then, of course, they introduce this character. What's his name? Glean or whatever. Rake. Yeah. He's a giant spider. He's a big spider.
Yeah, he's a big spider.
And he takes care of her mother and
her mom, who is just not in a good spot.
Right.
I mean, understandable. Her husband's dead.
But he grants her protection. Says, "Hey, I can protect you and your." Her mom's pregnant. Got this baby on the way.
Yep. And she is ready to move on from her dead husband and child that does exist.
Yep.
Daughter. Is born.
Well, she holds. So she had a son before that, but then somehow does they ever explain? So her son dies. The Mara's older brother, when she was young. But I don't know how it had something to do. Maybe he was protecting her or something.
Could be.
Anyway,
maybe they were twins.
I don't think that. I think he was definitely like 3 or 4 when Mara was born.
Okay.
But anyway, so her mom holds that against her.
Yep. Entirely.
It's like, this isn't the child I asked for, but it's the one I've got. So I'm gonna,
And so because of all of that, she's ready for this new kid. She has Rake, who she's just all in on. She goes, and she admits it honestly. She's like, "Who's going to take care of me?
Yeah.
Why should I have to take care of you?"
Yeah.
And something about that I really appreciated was during the start of it, the way things are, the way he goes about detailing, because it's from the perspective of the daughter, the way he goes about detailing things, it is genuinely a reveal when we find out that she's about to be 16.
Yep.
It's like, I thought she was 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you knew?
Yeah, I knew that there was something coming up about like coming of age.
Okay.
I knew that was a point of tension when she was like, when her mom's like, well, she's not ready to, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, but that is also kind of when they start to get towards the reveal.
Yeah.
I mean, like when we're talking about like.
You mean before?
Basically up until when her mom is like, why don't you come say something about your father? I think that was the first moment that I was like, because at that point I was like, well, she can't be like 6. Her mom wouldn't ask her to do that.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think I might have assumed that she was at least a teenage, like 13.
Okay.
But that might have been just me assuming.
I just felt like he was treating her so childishly because her mom treated her so childishly.
Right.
Like if she's 16, but because her mom has her confined in this apartment, she does feel very child-esque.
Yeah.
At times. Like very cling to your stuffed animal, when people fill into the apartment for the, I guess basically the funeral for her dad. I feel like I got the perspective of she's walking, bumping into legs and hips because everyone's bigger.
Yeah,
and then come to find out, oh no, she's 15, she'll be 16 next week.
Yeah,
like they made her very small.
Yeah. Well, and so then things get, like I said, they get more surreal. There is more animals that get added to the mix. It's kind of crazy.
We get a snake.
Yeah,
cockroach,
snake, big cockroach,
lizard,
rats.
A lot of rats.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff happens, and then it comes to find out that none of it was real. I mean, it was real, but they were people all along.
She has an active imagination.
Yeah. And these animals that she was projecting on real people.
Yep.
And then it ends with her getting saved and saving her mom dies in the process.
The baby's born.
Yep. Turns out people have been feeding on their father's corpse.
That's right.
And that's a problem.
Yep.
It's not what you want.
And
just eerie.
Come to find, it is implied through what you just said, people are eating people.
Yep.
Rake is probably the leader of this cannibal cult organization.
Yeah.
Who has stuck around and is kind of just making a power play in what's left of this war-torn territory.
As much as we know.
Yep.
Right.
And remember, this is a 90-page story.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time for exposition. We got to go.
We ultimately we only because we come to the reality that they're cannibals only because we learn at the end that they're people.
Yeah.
If
That's a good point.
If not, they could have made it
Just
that
be like,
Rick
"They're
was a
animals.
spider
They're animals
because
being
they're just
animals."
eating,
Yeah.
genuinely eating this corpse. So I was like, well, a giant spider eating,
That's
slowly
gonna
picking
happen.
away at a corpse. I think that's a fine plot point.
Even though we don't have any scientific evidence to say if a giant spider existed, it
That's
wouldn't.
true.
I mean, maybe Lord of the Rings.
It
you know
only
what I mean?
started with the hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then ultimately they I don't remember exactly what leads to them turning on her mom, but they just eat her. They just kill and eat her.
I think her mom was probably just willing. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and maybe it would have been like, "Hey, I'm giving up my child I'll give up if you take care of my child." I would think.
I think that is right. Yeah.
But
yeah. Oh well, that is something I appreciate about like this kind of like cult and these kind of stories where it's like, and they all want the prodigal child. They want the sacred baby that they can raise to be the perfect version of themselves.
Yeah. Probably in a world where there aren't very many children or babies, because this is a world.
Probably the last one. At least in this country.
One of the things I do like about this one, because it is, like I said, it's short, cut out all the exposition. We're just talking. A lot of those one-liners are really good. Like a lot of the dialogue is it's kind of cryptic, and you're like, I'm not sure really what that means, but boy, does that look good on a coffee mug, like a weird coffee.
That's true.
They said, for every gift, there's something taken away. It's like, okay, what is that? And just the stuff that you deal with and the stuff that you cherish and what toll that has on your family is really good. And you learn a little bit about their learn a little bit about their backstory, about the truth behind the family that this girl's grown up in. And it gets really freaky. But believe it or not, that's one thing that this book and Oldboy have in common. So I'll let you figure out what that is.
That was a good reveal.
Yeah.
That was the better version of that reveal.
But that's how I felt when I read it. I went, "What, 2 for 2? What is going on?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I likened "Don't Worry, Darling" to that. None of that. Not happens. 3 for 3.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, you need to watch Game of Thrones now.
Yes, for sure.
Well,
I've seen episode 2, so
yeah. You get the gist of it. You know what's happening. Anyway, well, we got anything else to add? We'll continue, like I said, on in our spooky book season, and then same thing with our movies. We'll be watching Aliens.
Right.
You guys got anything else?
We'll try to get to the theater sometime in the next week or two to get to one of those movies.
Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. So we will be. This is what I'm anticipating. I'm looking at the calendar. We'll be out of town. Not this past week. Next week. We'll be back in time to record and such. But I feel like that third week we hit the silver screen.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground. We get to watch some of these movies, and then we can sprinkle them in throughout our conversations.
Yes, please.
I like it.
Spooky time.
I like it a lot. Well, hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being patient with us. I know we kind of took a week off. We're not going to talk about it, but that's because you can't find it. You need to refresh your podcast streaming service, because it's in there somewhere.
Crazy.
That episode 23 or whatever it is, it's in there somewhere.
You're crazy. This episode came out the day after we recorded it.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
We're on top of things.
Right, I'm just throwing a random number out there. I'm just trying to cause confusion. But hopefully you guys.
You're close.
What is a movie, since we're pretty much like, don't watch Oldboy, what's a movie people should watch right now instead? Let's send them out on a recommendation.
Think Don't Worry, Darling is great.
Don't Worry, Darling?
It was better than I expected.
All right.
Don't watch The Invitation.
There's a movie I literally just watched, and I was like, I need to talk about this.
Oh,
this
really?
is great. I love this. This is why we do this podcast, so I can remember I forget what to talk about on it. Ryan, what's a movie that they should watch?
I haven't watched any lately. I've been doing TV shows more lately.
Okay. All right. What's the TV show they should watch? Hey, have you started Andor?
I did.
All right. What do you think about it?
I like it better than some of the other stuff they've put out.
Okay. I've heard it's a good slow burn.
Yeah.
I just rewatched. Dadgummit. Oh, it's out there somewhere. It's funny. It's clever. Dude, this is great. This is excellent podcast talk.
It's not one of like ours that we banter about.
No, dude, I just watched it. Dadgummit.
Nate Bargatze.
No. Well, I watched Monty Python's Holy Grail. I watched that the other night. It was good.
Classic.
I just watched it. I thought I just watched it last night. Dude, it's gonna kill me. Oh well.
All right.
So you recommend Don't Worry, Darling?
I really do. It was
right.
definitely better than expected. Little long, be prepared for that. It's not a long movie per se, but you get halfway through, you're like, I get it. We're trying to figure something out here.
How long is the runtime, you reckon?
Like 2 hours, 12 minutes.
All right. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Dude, so good.
I knew it.
Go watch
Oh
Tucker
my
and Dale
gosh.
versus Evil.
I love
Oh,
it. I say
man.
I love it. I've totally forgot I watched it last night.
You watched it last night?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, it's so funny.
I've seen that movie at least 10 times.
Where's these college kids just
Well, God, we've had a doozy of a day.
just hawked himself into the wood chipper.
I love it. I said, I love it because it's like, well, what are we supposed to tell him? Gee, officer, fine, you just show up. And that's exactly what he tells
word for
him.
word.
I love it. Dude, that is a great, I said that's a great spooky season movie.
It's so good.
It's like,
that movie I would genuinely recommend.
Like, is it funny? Yeah. Is it
Very.
scary?
Nope,
No,
but
it's supposed to be.
But it works.
Yeah, it's so good. Go watch that movie.
Oh man, is that good?
But
this is bowling fingers.
Anyway, well, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully, you guys have got a lot to watch, a lot to read, and we'll see you next week with aliens.
If you're gonna read any spooky books, tell us.
Please tell us.
Tell us.
We'll add it
you
to
never
the,
tell us anything. I'm talking to you. Specifically you. You never tell us anything. Our DMs are open.
We're starting to get resentful and bitter.
We kind of are, guys.
But you know what? We love you anyway. Be talking to you. Yeah. Aliens next week.
Aliens.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Game over, man. Game over. Thanks for listening to the Three Dudes in a Movie podcast. We appreciate you. Feel free to follow us on Instagram and be sure to give us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Have a great day, and remember, movies are good. All right, bye.